The 19th of November, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
I got to go check my merpetzi. I don't like the sound of something happening out there.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Sabina. Possible to come as a shook. Shava me. Oh, Sabina, Shava. Possible to come as a shook. Shava me. Masan. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, so that was what we had about the Mishkanta. Now we have about Zvina. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. We're back.
I hear you, but I figured out my problem. Just wait. You can start. I can hear you.
Oh, Phil had to go out to take care of something.
I think he said that he can hear us.
Oh, that's what he was talking to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I found what the problem was. It's okay. It wasn't outside. It was a window opened, and that made the noise when it banged. So it's okay. Nothing broken. Everything's fine.
Baruch Hashem.
Good. I'm high up, so on the 5th floor. So when the wind comes, it can really do something. So I have to close all the windows, and one of the windows slammed open that I thought was closed. It wasn't like locked, so now I locked it.
Okay. Yeah, Mashi Baruch. Geshem. Okay, so we are Kuf Test Vav Amud Aleph in Bava Kama. And I think that we completed our discussion about Mishkanta. But now we're continuing with Zvina. With selling. And we're still talking about a Ganav. Zvina Shava B'Shava. This can be found
You're on 115A4, the left paragraph, the left side, where the paragraph starts, sold and property that is sold.
Okay. Good. Okay, so Lou, would you like to read?
Okay, if I understood Phil, it's Zvina Shava Vishava.
Right.
That's right. And welcome back, Lou.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Good to have you back.
let's see, it's a sale for
Okay, all right, okay.
I'm leaving. Bye-bye.
an amount equivalent to the value. Asu bo tiknas takanas hashuk. They applied the remedy of the marketplace in this case. Shave meha b'matan. If it's a value of 100, for 200. If the stolen goods were worth 100, but were sold for 200. Rav Sheshes Amar, Rav Sheshes says, Lo asu bo takanas hashuk. They do not apply the remedy of the marketplace in this case.
Wow.
Rava Amar, but Rava says, Asubo tikanas hashuk. They do apply the remedy of the marketplace. So what is exactly is this? This tikanas hashuk.
Okay. So this is what Takanas Ashuk is. We're dealing here with a ganav, and the first case we had was, let's say you have a ganav that ganav is something from the owner, and now, of course, the owner could take the ganav to Beis Din and demand that he give him his thing back. But let's say the ganav, he sells it to a third party. So now the stolen item is in the possession of the buyer. So now, and furthermore, we'll say that the owner never was miyayish. There was no yiyush. So there's no kinyan in the hand of the buyer. He's buying stolen items, and they do not become his, because in the absence of yeyush, he's not able to make an acquisition on the item. So now, according to the Torah law that we paskin like Reb Chisda, he could the owner of the item, he can just like he could take it away from the Goslin and not pay him for it, he could also take it away from the buyer and not pay him for it. He could make a din Torah against the guy and take it away from him and not pay it for it. So what's the remedy of the buyer? Is to go back to the ganav and get his money back, because he sold him stolen goods. That's the din Torah. Now, Takanas Ashuk comes along, and the halacha of Takanas Ashuk is that if the owner wants to recover his item from the buyer, the one that has the item in his possession, even though he didn't steal it, so he can recover that item, but the owner is going to have to reimburse. He's going to have to reimburse the buyer for the item that he paid the ganav for. And then he's going to have to go back to the ganav and get reimbursed for the loss that he had in having to pay for his own item. That's the tikanas hashuk, to protect the buyer. So now we're talking about tikanas hashuk. Also, really, this is exactly the case that we're talking about over here with zvina. Zvina means that we have a ganav who is selling the item to a buyer, and now we it's going to be a question about, depending on how much he paid for it, whether we're going to say that we have a institute tikanas hashuk or not in these cases. So let's see, do we have any Rashis over here yet? We had Mishkanta, Shava B'Shava, and we had Rav Sheshis Amar Lo Asu, and Rava said Asu. That's us. Yeah, Rav Sheshis and Rava.
You're done?
We're near the bottom on it. We're near the bottom on the whatchamacallit, on where it says Shava B'Shava. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines up from when on the last 4 narrow lines on Rashi. Shava B'Shava. Well, that's Mishkanta. That's not a Zvina. Sorry. So, is there a Zvina thing?
No. This is the place, because in the case of Mishkanta, it was not Rav Sheshis and Rava who were arguing. It was Amem and Marzutra.
Yeah, but this says Mishkanta Shava B'Shava. So we have an answer Rav Shabbos on Lo Asu, but that is not. But that's not part of the Mishkanta Zavazah, because this is Zvina.
Right, correct. So we don't have Rashi for that, because Rashi's relying on us, since we understood the case of Mishkanta Shava B'Shava. We can apply what we learned over there to the case of Zvina. How do we do it? In other words, what is it that we mean when we say Shava B'Shava? Shava B'Shava means equal for equal, equal value for equal value for equal value. And in regard to a zvina is a sale. So what we're talking about when we say Shava B'Shava, we mean to say if the item was sold, and so the ganav is selling the item, and he's selling it Shava B'Shava, meaning that, let's say the item is worth 100. So if the amount that he receives from the L'Lokeach, the buyer, is also 100, so then that's called Shava B'Shava. He's selling it for the value that it is. He's receiving that exact amount for what it is that he sold it to him for. That's a case of Shava B'Shava. So in such a case, actually, in that case itself of Shava B'Shava, the Gemora says without any dissension, also about tikanas hashuk. We certainly did tikanas hashuk in that case. We certainly have a remedy of tikanas hashuk that the owner has got to pay the buyer for his loss when he takes the item away from him. There's no machlokes on that matter. And now this is and the way we're going to explain this is we're going to explain it exactly the way that we did in the case of Mishkanta as well. We said over there by Mishkanta the same thing, and we're saying over here too, meaning that why do we do Takanas Hashuk over here? Because we're saying whenever the buyer, whenever the one who's getting the stolen item, either because he bought it or either because it was given to him as a mashkon or a security to secure a loan, but he's getting it, and in an exchange he's giving a loan. He's giving money for the item if he bought it. In all these cases, if we say the case of Shava b'Shava, we're saying that especially in a sale, he sees what it is that he's got over there. He wants to buy this item, and he's giving money for that item. So he has kavana to receive that item, which he now has in his possession. We said in a case of a mashkon, let's forget about the mashkon for a second. This case is much easier. This case is much easier. A sale is much easier to understand and appreciate that's what's happening over here. He's giving the 100, and he's getting this item back. He's getting whatever you want to call it. He bought a widget. I don't know how much a widget costs. I don't even know what a widget is, but that's what they always talked about in school, widgets. So he bought 10 widgets, and they're stolen, and he bought them for 100. Okay, but that's what he wanted to buy. In that case, if that's what he gave his money for, he knew that that's what he wanted and that's what he was getting. So then we do Takanas Hashuk. That's a classic case of Takanas Hashuk. Now, you'll ask, well, why is it any different depending on how much money he's paying? So we're going to see that maybe Rashi is going to explain a little bit. Hopefully, he's going to explain a little bit what exactly the reasoning is behind why we're going to have a machlokes when it's not the exact amount is paid. The amount that is paid is not equal to the value of the item that's being sold. So that's the case. The next case of Shava Mona B'masan. Shava Mona B'masan is a case where we're talking about the stolen item. The stolen item is Shava Meya, rather. It's worth 100 B'masan. But for some unknown reason, the Lokeach wants this item very much, and he wants it so much that he's willing to pay double the fair market value of the item. I don't know why. That's Kasha on a Maisa. That's the case that the Gemora is talking about over here. That's the case. And on that case, where he's paying twice as much as what the value of the item, maybe he's under the impression that it's worth more than what it actually is. Maybe he thinks it's, I don't know, it's made out of gold. The guy told him it's made out of gold, so he's paying 200. I don't know. Whatever the reason is, but he's paying much more for it than what the actual value of it is. So that's the case. We got a machlokes over here between Rav Sheshes and Rava on this case. And with that, we could go to the Rashis. There's a Rashi to explain both Rav Shesh's position and Rava's position. Oh, I should have let Roy read, and then he could trade off the Rashis with Levitt. I made a mistake.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
You, we're starting that Rashi, the Rav Sheshes.
Rav Sheshes, yeah.
Okay. Rav Sheshes on the lower so, but it's you don't use this Takanas Ashuk. Afilu lito mea, even to give 100, the here, the mea yatirin, not, because the mayor is giving him a gift.
You're saving.
Mayor the Shabu, the mayor of the same 100. Nami also considered a matana. It's considered a gift. Now, why is it a matana?
Wow. Okay, we have to understand this svara over here. So first thing we have to understand is that Rav Sheshes says that this guy.
Yeah, there is a note in the art scroll.
Okay, you want to read the art scroll? Okay.
You want to read the art scroll, Roy?
Okay.
Note number 39 in the art scroll, Roy. I'm reading the Rashi. You can read the notes. It's English.
The buyer cannot collect from the owner, even the 100 zuz that the goods were worth. The extra 100 zuz were presumably intended as a gift to the seller, and thus we assume that the first 100 zuz were a gift as well. It emerges that this was not a sale at all, but an exchange of gifts, in which the case the enactment does not apply.
Oh, okay. So there you have it. Very clear. When somebody pays twice it wasn't like I was saying. It's we're not talking about a case where the Ganav tricked the guy and said it's made out of gold, and the guy said, "Oh, if it's made out of gold, I'll pay you 200 for it." No, talking about a case where the Ganav has something which is worth 100, and the guy knows that it's worth only 100. So why would a guy pay 200 for something that's worth only 100? Why would he do that? Rashi explains, because this is not a sale. This is not a sale that he's buying something. He wants to give this Ganav a gift. He wants to give him a gift. And so he gave him a gift. He gave him 200 as a gift. And the Ganav is giving him back something that's worth 100. So, and he knows that. The buyer knows that he's paying more than what it's really worth. And with that in mind, Rav Sheshes is saying that he wanted to give this guy this amount of money. It wasn't that he wasn't giving it to him only because he wants to buy this thing. He wanted to give him money. So with a thing like that, when it turns out that the thing that he got from the Ganav was something that the Ganav ganved for somebody else, and now it's going to be taken away from him by the owner. So the rabbi said, "We're not getting involved with this. This has got nothing to do with the people that do business in the shuk. This is a private matter between this person and the Ganav." He wanted to give him 200, and he gave him back something that was worth 100 that he didn't own. So that doesn't take away the fact that he wanted to give the guy a gift. He wanted to give him a gift. Now the chiddush though is, and Rashi is bothered by the chiddush. The chiddush is, 1 second. Didn't the guy know that that the Ganav was going to give him something that was worth 100? So if so, he knew and he gave 200 to the Ganav for it. What does that mean? I would have thought that that means that, well, he wanted to give him he wanted the item, but he wanted to give the Ganav a gift too. He wanted the item, so he bought it off the Ganav, but he said, I'll give you another 100 too. That's a gift from me. So, but Rashi says, that's clearly not that's not clear. That's clearly not the reasoning over here, because according to Reb Sheshes, we don't do Takanas Hashuk at all on this case. Not on the 100 that he wanted to pay and get the item that he wanted to get, and not on the 100 that he wanted to give him a gift for either. The whole 200 is he's going to lose. Why? Because the owner is going to come now and say, hey, that's stolen goods that you bought from this guy. He's a gunner. And so he's going to take it away from him, and he's not going to be able to get anything back for it either. The owner's not going to have to give him anything, according to Reb Sheshes, because we didn't do any Takanas Hashuk at all over here. Okay, that's what Reb Sheshes says. So that's the Chiddush. Even on the 100 that he presumably was treating as a sale, we're not going to do Takanas Hashuk over there, because we say the whole thing that was going on over here was a gift, just like the 100 that he gave him for the stolen item, just like the extra 100 that he gave him. That's the way. Just like he gave him 100 extra, he gave the 100 that he gave him for the stolen item was also a gift. That's the way we understand. So therefore, there's no remedy for this guy.
Does Rashi explain why he presumes that it's a gift?
Well, why would he give him 200?
The fact that he gave him too much, we assume that he knew it was too much, and therefore we assume that it was a gift.
Yeah, that's what I said before. You mean how does Rashi know that the guy was that he knew that the thing was only worth 100? How does Rashi know that?
Right. Well, how does Rashi know that? I mean, he seems to be assuming that the buyer is very knowledgeable about a lot of things, and he's presuming that motivation. And I'm just wondering if he has a svara for why he makes all those presumptions.
Well, his svara must be that if he really thought, in other words, the svara is like this. The reason why Rav Sheshes says we didn't do Takanas Hashuk over here is because it's not a sale. He wasn't really buying the item itself. Rav Sheshes would agree that if it was a sale, that he didn't intend to give him a gift, and he intended to buy the item that he wanted to buy, and he didn't intend to pay any more money. Just like nobody in the store. Nobody in his right mind, he wants to pay more for an item than what he needs to pay in order to buy it.
Right.
He doesn't want to. He's not interested in giving the seller a gift. So in that case, if assume, says Rashi, that Reb Sheshes would agree that we do Takanas Hashuk in that case. How do we know that Reb Sheshes would agree in that case? Because everybody agrees in that case. Because the Gemora said in the case of a mecher, a zvina, a sale, which is shava b'shava, there's no argument. Everybody agrees that we do Takanas Hashuk in that case.
Right.
So Rashi's got to come up with a reason why it is that in this case, Rav Sheshes says, oh no, this case we don't do Takanas Hashuk. We've got to figure out. And he's also got to figure out why you don't do Takanas Shuk altogether. Not at all. Not even on the not only on the 200, but not only on the 100. Nothing. It's all not a sale. Why is it all not a sale? So Rashi gives a svara that the way that we look at it is that we see that since he wanted to give a gift, he gave him twice as much as what it's worth. We don't do Takanas Ashuk over here. Yeah, now, okay, so far all I've explained is that if it's not a sale, so then we understand that there's a room for Rav Sheshes to disagree over here. The Chiddush over here is that we're saying, according to Rav Sheshes, the whole thing is not a sale. Let's, maybe before we explain Rav Sheshes over here, let's take a look at what Rava says, because Rava says we do Takanas Ashuk over here. What is that going to mean that we do Takanas Ashuk?
The Rashi on this, the Rava, which is the first wide line, the end. Rava also katana kanas. He says you do make the takanas. A filu tel matayim, even if you give him 200 instead of the 100. The orchel masbin b'damim yakaren, because it's the way to pay with an inflated value. I guess it's like if you really want something, you're willing to pay more.
Wow. Twice the amount, though.
He's saying it's not a gift, right? He's saying the purchaser purposely paid more because he really wanted it.
Exactly. That's exactly right. He doesn't intend to give him a gift at all. He wants this item, and he wants it so much that he's willing to pay a lot more than what it's actually worth. And so the Chiddush over here is that I wonder if everybody agrees to what Rashi is saying over here. When I first saw the Rava says we do Takanas Ashuk, I thought to say to myself, Rashi means to say, or the Gemora means to say, Rava means to say over here that we're going to do Takanas Ashuk on the 100 that he intended to give him for the item that he wanted. That's why I would have understood the deal. The item itself is worth 100. He gave him 200. So how do we understand that? He wants to buy the thing, and he gave him fair value for the thing that he bought, but he also gave him another 100 because he wants to give him a gift. And not Rav Sheshes says that, and not Rava says. Neither one of them say that according to Rashi. I don't know, how did Rashi know that? I would be interested to know if there's other Rishonim or even Achronim that they'll probably be afraid to, except for the Rishonim, be afraid to argue with Rashi. But how did Rashi know that? In other words, why don't we say that we see that Rav Sheshes says we don't do Takanas Ashuk, and Rava says we do Takanas Ashuk. Why don't we say that what they're arguing about in doing Takanas Ashuk is the 100 that the guy paid for? That he wanted the item, he didn't want to give him a gift of 200, and he wasn't willing to buy it for 200, something that's worth 100. So Why don't we say like that? But we're not saying like that. We're not saying like that at all. I mean, we could hear it. I mean, we understand Rashi's svara. Sometimes there are people that are willing to pay, you there's a very nice a place, a guy just did he made a rental he made a apartment for rental, and he did it all up nice and new and everything is brand new and everything, and he's charging 5,000 shekel for it. And he finds out that he's got 30 people that call him up in 2 hours, and they're willing to pay. They want it. And one guy says, "I'm willing to pay 6,000 for it," and the other guy says, "I'm willing to pay 7,000 for it." Right? There is such thing like that. And then some guy says, "I'm willing to pay 10,000 for it because I want it." So I mean, it could be, but why is it that we got to say that that's what Rav is saying? I don't know. Why can't we say that Rav says we do Tikonos Hashuk on the 100 that he wanted to give him he wanted to buy it for 100, and he gave him a gift of 100. I don't know. And so what's going to happen over here is that the owner of this item, who had it stolen from him, he's going to have to, if he wants it back from this buyer, he's going to have to pay double the value of the item, because this buyer was willing to pay double the value for that item, and that'll be Tikonos Hashuk. Okay. Is there anything interesting that they say in the notes over there? Anybody argue with Rashi? Any different?
It gives you another source for the Rashi. It also see the Ram Misa Karsta cited by the Shita Mechabetzitz. It's just giving another backup of Rashi.
Yeah, this is.
He says there too that it's not unusual to overpay when making a purchase. It's not necessarily a gift.
Right. That's only according to Rava. This is the machlokes over here. In other words,
the next, by the way, the next phrase, the next little paragraph says the law that the law actually follows Rava, and explains the various cases in the next section, the next couple of lines here.
I mean, you might ask the following question: why do we have to have a machlokes over here between Rav Sheshes and Rava? Let's go over to this guy and ask him, what did you want to do over here? Did you want to give this guy a gift, or did you want to pay for the item? And you were just but
that's because it's that case. Remember that Rav Sheshes and Rava are only arguing the case when he on a sale with a zvima. They're not talking about the other cases.
Yeah, but the question is, if you think about it for a second, Rav Sheshes is saying, "Oh, he intended to give him a gift," and Rav is saying, "No, he intended to buy it." Well, let's go over to the guy and ask him, "Hey, mister, did you intend to give the guy a gift, or do you intend to buy it?" That would seem to be a simple solution, but that's obviously not a simple solution, because Rav and Rav Sheshes are arguing about this case.
Okay.
So it must be that we don't ask the guy. We don't ask the guy. Rab Shesha says when this happens, we regard it as a gift. And Rabba says when this happens and the guy pays twice as much, we regard it as a sale. And that's their machlokes. And accordingly, the Tekanas Hashuk applies or doesn't apply, depending upon whether it was a sale or not. All right.
Take care.
Yashikoyach, everybody. Have a great day. Shuato, Vumavora.
Shukato.
Welcome back again, Lou. You'll have to, when we get some extra time and we're not doing anything, you'll have to tell us some of the stories about being over there.
Oh, it's an amazing trip. I get lots of stories.
Good.
Okay,
Okay, Lou, I'll see you at 4.
Okay, Alan, sounds good.
Welcome back.
Thank you.